Hello, and welcome back to another SudokuCon Setter Spotlight. I guess maybe today it's more of a Setters Spotlight. We will be doubling the number of setters that we have featured here this month with a puzzle from Full Deck and missing a few cards called Modular Maw. So, Full Deck and missing a few cards, for some context, are, pretty big names in the community. They are a dynamic duo of setters who also just so happen to be university professors. And they teach a course. Um, I think they've made some of the information public about that stuff, but I won't mention anything more specific about it. But what I will do is I'll mention as part of this course that they teach, they have students set Sudoku puzzles. And as part of that, they compiled those puzzles into a number of books. Kind of a puzzle pack of sorts, but in the form of a Sudoku book. And this is the Signet Sudoku series. I will link my playlist of that as well as just their website where you can find other puzzles that they have set, as well as other puzzles that they are featuring either from them or other setters, and their Signet Sudoku series, which I think they're all the way up to volume 3 of. I fully solved volume 1, and I did that in the series of puzzles that I've linked, but I never got through all of volume 2. I was doing those in live streams, and I just haven't really done live streams, so that's been kind of out of the question recently, but I'd like to go back to that, and I've talked about going back to that, and I'd like to tackle volume 3, because these new volumes are bigger. They include puzzles from Full Deck and missing a few cards themselves, which didn't actually exist in volume 1, if I recall correctly. I don't think they had any of their own puzzles in there, but also just being able to go back, kind of finish that out, and then whenever volume 4, which I'm assuming is probably in the works, comes out, tackle that as well. But in any case, lots of rambling there, right? I I didn't really talk about like meeting them or anything like that, but yes, of course I met them at SudokuCon. I had a great time interacting with them. They were super friendly. They gave me physical copies of Signet Sudoku Volume 1 and 2, which was very, very kind of them. So I have those sitting on my shelf, and we spent some time talking about math and magic and other things as well because teaching a Sudoku class setting Sudoku puzzles probably makes you a little bit of a nerd. And they're both into, math and magic and cardistry. And they have some very quite impressive magic skills. So if you ever happen to run into them or they see them on a live stream either for SudokuCon or otherwise, see if you can convince them to do a magic trick or two. But like I said, rambling aside here, as you can tell, I'm very excited. Um, Today, we will be going through the rules one by one. One thing that you should note before I get into the rules, more rambling, but looking at their puzzles as well as their students' puzzles, you should see very consistent rule sets. One thing that they're trying, or that they were trying to do, at least from what I recall from our conversation and what they valued, was that the rule sets were very consistent. That way, that the variants are always very accessible, and across all domains, you're going to read, a modular lines rule set and always understand what it's trying to say. Other things like instead of calling them killer cages, just calling them cages, making that more accessible to like younger audiences as well, getting them involved in some way. I think there are a lot of little efforts that they've undertaken to try to just make Sudoku accessible in general. And looking at the Signet Sudoku book, you'll see that there's a ton of information just about how Sudoku works, like the naming, numbering scheme, how to use Sudoku Pad even. So great, great resources. They're amazing resources. Now, let's get into the puzzle. We have standard Sudoku rules apply. The digits 1 through 9 appear in every row, column, and box. So any complete row, any complete column, and any complete 3 by 3 thickly outlined region of the Sudoku will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. Then, for our modular lines, any set of 3 adjacent digits along a modular line has 3 different remainders when divided by 3. So I'll spend a little bit more time on that. That's kind of the meat of the puzzle, why we're here today. I'm going to do some quick color coding. And essentially, what I'm doing here is I'm kind of striping the line in such a way that taking any 3 adjacent digits will always give you one of each color. These colors might be visible to you because you're going to color code your modular lines. I don't know if I will be, but it is very good practice when you're doing modular lines or entropic lines just to keep everything consistent to do color coding. But essentially, when you're dealing with the set of the digits 1 to 9, which I will actually put out here, this is what your Sudoku pad keypad should look like. If you're in Sudoku pad, there's going to be a little keypad, and this is what it should look like. Or if you have a number pad on your keyboard, it might be inverted with like the 1 down here. Whatever it might be, the modularity is the remainder, right? So when you divide these numbers by 3, very conveniently, you actually end up with 147, which all happen to have a remainder of 1 when you divide them by 3, 258, which all have a remainder of 2, and 369, which all have a remainder of 0. So this is your 0, your remainder 2, and your remainder 1 digits. So if let's say we do some Sudoku and we figure out, hey, this is actually going to be 1, for example, then you know immediately that the other red digits along the line will come from the set 147. If you then, placed a 2 here, for example, you did your Sudoku, you found out this was a 2, and let's say this was a 3, then what that would immediately tell you is the modularity, again, of the corresponding cells. Hopefully that made sense. I hope that wasn't too much of a bogged down explanation. And then finally our cages. So digits cannot repeat within cages and must enter the values shown in the upper left corner of the cage. So as usual, these dotted dashed regions here, they define our cages. So 23 tells us that these 3 cells must sum to 23. These 2 to 4, these 2 to 17, these 3 to 16, so on and so forth. And with that, those are the rules. Let's just jump right into it. All right, so I think the obvious place to start is with the cages. There's a ton of things that we can just place immediately, either because they're minimums or maximums, or as I sometimes like to call them, pseudo minimums and pseudo maximums. 3 in 2 digits definitely has to be 1, 2. 17 in 2 digits definitely has to be 8, 9. 5 either is, of course, 1, 4 or 2, 3. 4 has to be 1, 3. Which I guess means this just has to be 2, 3. Sorry, because it can't have 1. 23, so I was saying 2, 3. 23 has to be 6, 8, 9. 7 has to be 1, 2, 4. 16 has to be 7, 9. Okay, yeah. Same thing down here, actually. 17 will be 8, 9, and 15 can't have 9 on it, because 9 here would place 9 here, 9 here would place 9 here, which means it cannot be a very nice 6, 9. Instead, it has to be a measly 7, 8. Otherwise, $12 we can do a little something with just because I'm noticing we have a couple triples across. This will actually just be 4, 5, 6. No, 4, 5, 7. Sorry, 4, 5, 7. So, well, okay. Sorry. 5, 7 just sums to 12. So actually, this could never be 4. So that's something. 4, 5 is 9. You would need 3, right? 3, 4, 5 to get to 12. And 4, 7 is 11. Would need 1. And this has to match this parity here, which just means it has to be 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just means that has to be 3, but let's come back to that for a second and just make sure that we haven't missed anything else here. Because 8, I just skipped over, but I don't, like, 8's not, it doesn't immediately jump out to me as anything important. 8, I don't see how I could resolve 2, 6, or 3, 5 until we know something else about this. Like if we get 5 here, for example, 5 here would immediately tell us that this is 2, 6. Um, and sorry, it obviously can't be same logic that we had up here. 7, 8, 9 triple. It can't be 7, so it can't be 1, 7. So that's easy. But tracking our modularity, all of these need to be the same modularity, and ain't no way that 1, 2, and 8 are going to pair in some way. So this actually needs to be double 3, which means this is 4, 5. This is just going to be 7, which actually, if I'd spent 2 seconds working on that, I would have been able to figure out that it wouldn't be 5. This has to come from the set 6, 8, 6, 9 then, which means 8 certainly goes here. 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3. Oh, and these have to match modularity. So this has to be 9. This is 8. 9 gets us 9 here. Okay, this will be 1, 4. This can't be 4, so this is 1, 7. And 2, 5, 8. I'll just do that, and then I can remove 8 from here. So that's a lot of information very quickly. Trying to see if there's anything else that I missed. All right. 8. 8 would be 2, 6 specifically in this order. And these two would need to match. Otherwise, it's 3, 5 in some order, which I don't know. "12 and 3 digits was easy because we had a triple. But here I have literally no idea what's happening. Because we have the triple, right? But otherwise, this is just a sextuple here. Maybe not in like some weird way with the modular lines. I had some really great flow there, and now what in the world? 2, 3, 5, 1, 2. Because 16, there's a certain minimum, right, you need to meet. Um, this very well could be 9. Oh, no, wait. Oh, wow, actually, no, it can't be 9 because this needs to match this. And this means this can only come from the set 1, 2, sorry, it's 1, 4, 7 or 2, 5, 8, right? It's either the remainder 1 or the remainder 2 stuff. So actually this can't be 9, which means maximum it can be 8, which means this has to sum to at least 8. And summing to at least 8 without using 7, 8, or 9, it could, no, it can't be 5, 6. 5, 6, 11 would require another 5. It could be 4, 6 with 6. No, sorry, that doesn't work either. 4, 5 with 7, right? Because 4, 5 is 9 with 7. And 7 can go here. If Could this ever be 8? If this was 8, this would also have to be 8, which is fine. And then you need 8 in 2 digits, but you can't use 7, so it either has to be 2, 5, or 3, 6. Um, which means this could never be 2, and 2 would have to go here, which would make sense. 2, 8, it would line up. Or, all right, cut, cut the video. 7, 8 by Sudoku. Places 8 here, gives us 9, 8, gives us 7, 9. This cannot be 3. It does have to come from the set 2, 5. This will come from the set 3, 6. Oh, wait, no. 8. Oh, I screwed up here. Good job. No, 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 I'm okay. Wait, wait, wait. That's fine. I just put 8 here when I meant to put 7. I don't think that screwed anything up. 9, 3, 6, 8, 2, 5. Yes. Okay, we're good. Sorry. We're good. 8 says this has to be 2. So this is 1, 4. This has come from the set 2, 5, or 8. I think it just has to be 8. Obviously it can't be 2. If it's 5, we need 11 in 2 digits. And 11 in 2 digits either needs to be 5, 6, or using 7, 8, or 9. So yes, very straightforwardly, actually, this does have to be 8. We do need to form 8 in 2 digits. So it's either 2, 6, or 3, 5. And this will either be 2, 6, or 5, 3. So 2, 6, 3, 5. It's a little more pencil marking than I generally like to do, but we can remove one of the options there at least. This will match here. It doesn't give us anything more. 3 and 6 would both require 3, 6, or 9 here. Whatever we don't use has to be used there. All right, sorry. Let's do what we were doing before. 7. 7 here has to be 1, 4, 7. This can be any of them. This can be any of them. 9 has to be 3, 6, 9. This can be any of them, and this can be any of them. But it's something, right? We might as well pencil mark it because clearly I'm just completely blind. I'm recording this a little later than I wanted to. I was going to record this morning, and I might actually just have to put this out tomorrow instead. But I had some stuff I need to take care of this morning for research, so got a little delayed there. I'll use that as my excuse today, It's got to be something. I've pretty much pencil marked the major modulo lines here. I haven't addressed these, but I just don't know enough yet. 236 would say this has to come from the set. Oh, well, actually, maybe I do know a little bit. 236 would say this has to come from the set, what? 2, 5, 8, which it can't be 2 or 8, so 5, or 3, 6, or 9, where it can't be 3, so 6, 9. Then, no, this probably doesn't do much. I'll keep going anyways. This can't be 1 or 7, so if it comes from the set 4, 7, or sorry, if it comes from the remainder 1 set with 1, 4, 7, it can only be 4. And if it comes from the set of 5, this can't be 8. It can be 2 in this case, though, so 2, 5. So 2, 4, 5. It's like we have an inkling of something, but it's just not enough. And then this theoretically could just be any modulo, right? This could be 0 with 1 or remainder 2, and we don't know. This could be remainder 2 with remainder 1 here, and this could be remainder 0. I don't have enough information, but 6 and 8 tells us that this would either be 3 or 6, or if it was 8, it would be from the set 2, 5. So it either forms a nice pair across, or it doesn't. 1, 4, though, so, okay, so I should have caught on to that. 1, 4 says that this has to be from the set 4, 7, because it can't be 1, for sure, right? This definitely has to be the remainder 1 stuff, so that means this has to also be from the set of remainder 2 or remainder 0, which means remainder 0, only option is 6, because it can't be 3 or 9, but remainder 2, it has 2, 5, or 8. So still not quite enough for me here. It's so close, yet still so far. Excuse me. For 5, 8. Oh my goodness, guys, Sudoku. Sudoku. How about I use digits that are on the board? So 1 doesn't do anything. Twos. As I say that, was that like the only uh thing I could do? That'd be very funny. We only have a few threes near the top here. But of course, as I say that, we're missing the 3 there, which gets us 3 here, which says this cannot be 3, which says this cannot be 3. 3. But we have options 3 here and here. What was it that I placed? 8? Did I look across? No, I didn't. 8 here. 8. 8 between these 2 cells. But it's 8 between these 2 cells and these 3 cells, so maybe not so interesting. But that is something. That is something, because now, like, let's consider the options. Now we only have what? Yeah, look at that. 1, 9 points across here. This must, or points here and gives us a pair here that will point across, gives us 1, 9, because we need to make sure we're matching the modularity. This is 1. Then the 7 and something and 6 will have to go here. Then 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Maybe it gets a little bit more interesting. Now I feel like we are over pencil marking a bit. Here, though, we are missing 2, 4, 5, and 7. 7 certainly has to go here. 7 gets us 6 and 7. You know, it's so funny. When you use Sudoku in a Sudoku, it actually makes the Sudoku easier. This will be 2, 4, 5, which 4, 5, and then 6, 8. Problem is 8 here or here is valid, but what are we missing? Right, once again, the 9. 9 has to go here, only option. 9 can go here or here, but 5, 8, and 6. 5, 8, and 6. 5, 6, 8. 8. This can't be 8. 6, 8. 6, 8, 1. 7. 3. Let's make sure we're removing that as an option. Wait, have I doubled up somewhere? 2. This can't be 2. There we go. 5, 6, 8. I was like, how is this still 2, 5, 6, 8? It doesn't make any sense. Because it isn't. We didn't have enough digits left because I was trying to figure out what this had to be. And I was like, this would have to be from 147 triple, wouldn't it? And in fact, it is. This is the 147 triple here. Five, 6, 8. 5, 6, 8 with the 4. 4 going one of these 2 cells. 1, 2, 4, 5. This can't be 2, so 1, 4, 5. Can't do better than that. It's got to be something else I'm missing. Problem is, we still don't know what's going on here somehow. How do we still not know? We have a 2, 5 pair. 3, 6, 9, and still 1, 4. How have I done this to myself? 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. 6. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. We've accounted for everything here, so there's nothing that would be novel that could only go in these two cells. It's got to be something with the modulo. This can't be 9, right? So this can't be 9. And, oh, and now, hello, this creates a 2, 4, 5, 6 quadruple. Probably not what they wanted me to see, but that's what I see, which leaves us with 7 and 1, actually. So this is just 7. This is 1. 7 removes 7 here, which gives us a 1, 4 pair, which gives us 7 here. And 7 here. Uses with an X-wing on 7s, actually. Funny enough. 1 between these two cells, 1 between these cells. Forces 1 there for this box. This must be 4 then. This is 1, this is 4. Then 4, 3, 5. This can no longer be modulo 1 because 1, 4, and 7 have been taken away from this cell. So that means that there has to be a modulo 1 somewhere along this line, which means this, in fact, has to exactly be the modulo 1, which gives us 4 there, gets us 7 here, 7 here, gets us 7 here. Then 4, 5, 5, 6. 6. This has to be from remainder 2, so this is 5. With 8, we're only missing 2 here. This has to be 2, 6. It all lines up. 6, 3. This is 5, 5, 3. And then 5, 2. 2, 1, 4, 5. 6, 2, 5. This can't be 5. 6, 8. Do I really not have a better way to resolve this? It's like, it's right there. It's right there. It took so much longer because I don't know how to do Sudoku, but that's a different problem. Like here, I almost missed the 3 there. That does get us 4 and 3 here. 5 gets us 6. 6 gets us 9 very nicely. Then across, we're just missing 1. 1 gets us 1, which leaves us with the 4, 5. 6 is 5, 8. I can't actually do better. This is just a chocolate teapot up the line. Though maybe it isn't? No, because, of course, whatever isn't here places here, right? So this either needs to be... Oh, well, maybe there is actually a way to do it. 6 would require 6, but 8 would require 5. No, but and then 5, 8, 6. Yeah, no, we're fine there. That is not what we need to be looking at. Let's just finish this out. This is a triple here. 2, 4, and 6. I really can't do that. 4, 6. I can if I look down the column here. 4, 6, 4. 4, 5, 5, 4. 4, 2, 5. 6, 2, 8. 2, 8. This is from the same modulo, so this has to be the 6 instead. This is 8, 5, 8. 8, 2, 5, 2. And this is just a cleanup exercise at this point. We need 4 and 6. from the column 9, hello, 9 here, 5 across, 5 here, 6 here, and 3, 2, and 1, 8. Should have held it for a second. And we are done. In 22 minutes and 21 seconds with Modular Ma by Full Deck and missing a few cards. Remembering to do Sudoku in a Sudoku puzzle is quite important, and it would serve you well to do that. Though I'm sure also if color coding is your drive, then you could definitely have made this very colorful and made it a little bit easier to track the remainder ones, twos, and zeros. I was going to say the low, mediums, and highs, but that is entropy, of course. So with that, hopefully you enjoyed. Please check out the other stuff that Full Deck and Missing a Few Cards have available on their website. Also you can check out the Signet Sudoku series as well, but you should check out their website. A ton of great resources there, either for just Sudokus or like I said, they have the Signet Sudokus as well. So if you're looking for just something fun to go through a puzzle pack of sorts that maybe guides you a little bit more through things, or you're trying to convince someone to get into Sudoku, I think the Signet Sudoku books do a really great job of that. I went through, again, like all of the puzzles in volume 1, and the starting puzzles are all like 4x4s. So very straightforward, kind of teaches you the ropes. Then there are some 6x6s, and then finally we move to the 9x9s. So I think, again, they do a really good job about trying to make Sudoku accessible, and Signet Sudoku is a great starting point for that. And with that, like I say, hopefully you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.